Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper. I'm so excited to be back for Gerda Steiner Designs as our guest designer using this gorgeous party animals set. Isn't it great? There's so many cool, fun creatures in this set. And I have made a few cards, so you will see some more coming up soon. But today I'm going to create a watercolour shaker card. I was in the mood for bright colours and I thought that this ostrich would be a fun image to colour up with some watercolours and, you know, sort of create a whole card, shaker card. I thought I just couldn't get that out of my head. And you know, sometimes when you have an idea, you just have to make that card and then you can get on with the next design. It seriously comes down to that sometimes. So I have some Bristol watercolour cardstock, and it's a nice smooth white cardstock. So that means that I can just stamp directly on it. I don't need to worry too much about using something like a misty tool or that, because if it was a textured finish, it would be a lot more difficult to stamp and you might have to re-stamp to get a good finish. I'm using my distress inks, and I do come in with some zigs a little bit as well to add some depth, but mostly it's just distress inks, and I'm using wet on wet technique, and that just means that I've added some clean water to my cardstock and then pick up the colour and drop it into the wet area. And generally speaking, the watercolour will only go where the wet area of the cardstock is, unless of course I bump it or accidentally wet an area that I don't want to wet, but that's a whole nother story. So I'm going to leave you with the colouring now. I will list all the coloured inks that I use at the blog, so you can head there through the description below. And this is my little feature ostrich. I decided that she was going to be hot pink, and why not? Alrighty, I'll be back real soon. And as a final touch, I did decide to add some spatters, and I find this works better with a bigger brush. It's taken me a while to work that out. I have a piece of white cardstock. It's cut the same size as the front of my card, and I want to kind of window out of the front, and I'm eyeballing it with the guidelines of the Fiscus trimmer. So this trimmer has a guide wire, and I'm just looking at the lines, and I'm just flipping my cardstock around and having it at the same border edge each time. And that's how I created my window. If you had a die cut that would do this, go for it. That would be so much easier. My sentiment says seriously, and I thought that'd be perfect. A hot pink ostrich. I don't think I've ever seen one of those, so seriously. And I've heat embossed that with some white embossing powder on some black cardstock. I thought that was just something that was, because it's a really busy sort of design, and I thought that would be just a really good way to make the sentiment pop out. So I've attached the panel, cut it down and attached it to the front of my top fold card, and then I can just simply I'm just sitting a mix of sequins. So these are pretty much all Pretty Pink Posh sequins, some nice bright sort of green, fuchsia, blue colours, and also the sparkling clear. I've popped up the rectangle border panel, added the acetate behind that, as well as some score tape on the fun foam to hold that in place. And then I can just remove the score tape and adhere that to the front of my card. Really simple, fun card today. I really enjoyed the watercolouring. I just felt like I needed something bright. This week's been a big week for me, and something bright is just what I needed. So I hope you like it too. I pop up the little pink ostrich and my sentiment, and that's it for my card today. Thanks so much for joining me. There is another card and a sneak peek video to share at the blog, so don't forget to check that out as well. So till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.